Says the Mishnah, or says the Gemara. We are on the Gemara where the Gemara says as follows: Runya, Akfe Ravina. Ravina was surrounded by Runya me'arba ruchotav, from the four different directions. If you remember the last part of the Gemara, we were talking about the Dina de Bar Metzra, which means that if you're surrounding in different areas. So now, usually Dina de Bar Metzra is, I want to buy the field. Here we're not talking about that. Now, here we're talking about that you're surrounding me, and now you say, you know what? Instead of having the fields completely open, like the way that it is still in certain parts of the world, no, I want to put a fence. So the only thing is, I'm on the inside. I say, listen, I never wanted a fence. You want to put a fence, but you put a fence. But why should I start participating? So now here, he was surrounding him by the four different sides. Elmaleh, so he told him, give me the mechitzat al-tzaot on the, listen, I put up fences, I want you to pay for it. Lo yavle, he didn't pay for it. So he says, okay, fine, havli lefi kanim bezol. Give me at least the price of reeds. If I would have put reeds, right? Runya again did not give to Ravina. So Ravina was surrounding Runya. Ravina put up fences, and Runya didn't want to participate whatsoever in any of the fences. So he asked him, havli agar natiruta. Okay, at least give me the price of a shomer. Meaning, beforehand, if you wanted to watch over your property, you would have needed a shomer, somebody to, like a watchman. At least give me that. Also didn't give him. Yom achad, havakad gada dikle. One day, Runya was coming and he was taking dates from his palm tree. Okay. Amar le lariseh, and he told his aris, zil shekol mine kibura deahine. Go to the field of Runya and take in front of him an eshkol tmanim. Take dates, right? A cluster of dates in front of him. Azalatuye, he went to get it. Rama Bekali started screaming at him. You just showed by screaming at my aris that it's important for you to have like protection for your things. Even if it would have been an ez, a goat, Nilo bay netiruta, you wouldn't have needed netiruta. And therefore, basically, the concept was, one second, you just proved that you need this protection. You need these walls. So for you have to participate. So he answered him, Amaleh iza be'alma lachlu yeba. He says, Izrim, all you have to do is just scream at them. You don't have to come and start putting fences throughout the entire field. You scream at the goats and they run away. Amaleh, he told him, Velav gavra ba'ita mechlalach. He says, why, you don't need somebody to come and to scream at them? So Ata lakameh de Rava. So they came in front of Rava. Go appease him with whatever he could be appeased. Vilo, and if not, keravuna aliba de Rabbi Yosef. I'm going to judge you like a Ravuna, like Shitat Rabbi Yosef. And therefore I would actually come and actually obligate you in half of everything that he put. So therefore, basically, what happened was he said, listen, if he agreed already to accept the money of a watchman or of reeds, take whatever you can and pay him whatever you can, but if not, I have to judge you. You have to actually pay full price. What's full price? Meaning like half of the full price of Behemet, whatever he actually came and he did. Runya zaven ara mitzah de Ravina, and Runya came and he sold, right, on the Metzah Ravina. So Ravina wanted to take him out, right, from the field and to buy it from him, to buy it for himself. Mishum Dina de Bar Metzah, because of Dina de Bar Metzah. Remember, Dina de Bar Metzah means that if you have a field right beside, you have the right to first refusal, I think it's called in English. Okay? So Amar le Rav Safra bered Rav Yeva le Ravina Amni Inche, people are going to say Arba'a letzala arba'a litzlala, 4 zuz for the or and 4 zuz for the bursi. What does that mean? Runya was a sanlar. He was like a shoemaker. So he used to buy the or, he used to buy it, and he used to give it to the people to prepare the skins, right? To prepare them. Now, right, Rav Safra was telling Runya is an ani. He because she makes money. Right, so he needs a lot of money for the Avdanim. So he says, just like it says, meaning this field that he bought is going to help him for the Parnassah of his house. And therefore you should do a Yashav Yatov and let him. Right? Why? Because basically it's like the entire concept of Sita Yashav Yatov. So therefore he says, since Runya was an Ani, don't come and start taking him off. Basically he has to come, the exact same amount that he's taking for the actual material, he has to pay also for the handwork. Right? So therefore, misken, just let him off in order that there shouldn't be any problems whatsoever. The Mishnah says on Amud Aleph, Kotel Chatzer Shenafal, when you have a kotel that is dividing 2 different fields that fell, Mechayvin oto livnot ad 4 amot. So we're obligating the shachen, each one, to build it until a minimum of 4 amot. right? It's a chazakah that he actually already paid for it. That she'aviraya shelo natan, until you bring a proof, right? That means once they already built it, it's a proof that kilu they both paid for it until you bring a proof that he didn't pay for it. Me'arba amot ulmalan, however, from 4 amot and above, and mechayvinoto, we're not going to obligate him. If it's going to be now another kotel, even though they did not put the tikra, they're going to be megalgel the entire thing. Until you're going to bring a raya that you actually did come and that you gave it. Okay, so therefore it's the opposite way. Okay? Fine. Imagine right now I lend you money, and I tell you that I paid you within the time. Yeah? You're not going to be believed. Because halvai that you should pay in the proper time. Meaning the fact that I gave you a time to pay, let's say a month, and all of a sudden after 2 weeks I come and say, by the way, I paid you. Huh? You don't believe the guy. Why? Because ochala halvai that he should pay at the month. You understand that he's going to start paying within the time. Abaye v'Rava dam netaveo, but Abaye and Rava both say, no, a person will pay within the time. Zimnin de mitram lo uzuze, because sometimes the guy gets money. The Amar, and he says, easily, I want to go and I want to pay. Meaning sometimes the guy he says, you know what, I want to pay now. I don't want to start, I want to do it right now. In order that he shouldn't have any problems afterwards. And he just prefers, you know what, I just paid off my debt. And that's it. Tanan, we learned in the Mishnah. 1 second. When you came and you rebuilt the wall, it's a chazakah that you already paid for the wall as well until somebody brings a proof that you did not pay. What's the case? If he told him that I paid you within the time, right? Which means that when it came to the dalad amot, pshita obviously because for sure he paid. It means that he paid before the time. So therefore, you do see from that we have a proof from our Mishnah, and that's why we're bringing this down. We have a proof from our Mishnah that people pay within the time. So now the Gemara says the wall is different. Why? Every single time they put one row of bricks, that is its proper time to pay. Meaning it's not like a finishing of a job that it goes from 0 to 100. It's a continuous job. So every single... Yes.
It's all due at the end
or a little by little. So here, every single row is already something. Tashema, let's try to bring another proof then. What happens right now if you put another wall? We said it's a chazakah that you did not pay until you bring a proof that you did pay. What's the case? If you're going to tell me now, bizmani, I paid you back on time, like in the proper time, why aren't you going to be believed? But those money, obviously, he told them that he paid within the time, meaning before the proper time, early. So Elmaleh, so you see from here, it's a proof from our Mishnah that you don't pay early. So answers the Gemara, the same thing. The reason why a person is, it's not like a regular debt. A regular debt, you're 100% always obligated. Here, whoever said that the rabbis are going to obligate you to pay? Meaning here, you added another wall. Who in the world ever told you that you're going to be obligated to pay? So therefore, why would he pay early? It doesn't make sense to pay early. So in this case, so one more time. So in the Mishnah, so one more time. In the Mishnah, we had two cases. First case is that you only have to pay until Dalad Amot. Above Dalad Amot, you don't have to pay. However, though, what happens right now, if you build 8 Amot, you don't have to pay more than 4 Amot. But now, what happens is that all of a sudden, right, I come and I build a wall beside it, which is 8, and I want to make like a roof, and then I want to cover it over. So that means I'm showing that I'm happy with 8 Amot. So now we have to pay for the 8 Amot. So says the Gemara, 1 second. From the first case of the Mishnah, right, which is before anybody built any walls, I bring a proof that a person could come and he'll pay within the proper time, meaning he'll pay early. But we answered that up already. We said that's not a proof because every single row of bricks is already considered the proper time. So therefore, you can't bring a proof from there. So now let's bring the opposite proof. The opposite proof was that if you put a wall, there it's a chazakah that you didn't pay for it until you do pay. So what's the case? If it was the proper time, why not? But rather, you paid early. So there's a proof that you don't pay early. Answers the Gemara, no, it's different over there than a regular debt. A regular debt, you're obligated to pay. So therefore, to come and to start saying paying early or not, maybe you did pay early. In this case, whoever said the rabbis are going to tell you have to pay, maybe you don't have to pay for the wall. You don't have to pay more than Dalad Amot. So therefore, the fact that maybe you don't have to pay, a person will never pay early on something that he's a doubt Hechal if he has to pay. Meaning, if I have a doubt, should I have to pay this or not? You're never going to pay and pay early. It could be that you don't have to pay at all. Why are you're gonna pay early also? Doesn't make sense. Fine. Next. Rav Papa Rav Huna bered Rav Yeshua Avdi Kabai V'Rava. Rav Papa Rav Huna ben Yeshua, they did like Abai V'Rava, which means that a person is believed to pay early. When Rav Ashi did like Resh Lakish, which means that you're not believed to pay early. V'Hilchata Resh Lakish. Halacha is like Resh Lakish. Why? There's a chazakah that a person doesn't pay back a loan before the proper time. Meaning it's a chazakah. The people, if they prefer always to have the cash at hand and to start paying off dues early. Okay? And even from Yitomim, right? Which means on this chazakah we're going to be somech even on Yitomim without a shavua. That means even though usually that means usually whenever you take money from the Yitomim you always need a shavua. The people do not pay back within the proper time, and therefore if the father dies and maybe he paid back early, no, it's a chazakah, he didn't pay back early, and therefore you take from the Yitomim even without a shavua. That means this chazakah is so strong that even without a shavua, you come and you take from the Yitomim. So so they're going to ask the question, what happens now if the guy only came after the time to ask for the money? He told them, I paid it within the time, meaning early. What's salacha? Do I say bimkom chazakah like amigu mali l'shaker or not? So let me explain to you the question, right? And then we'll continue with the next daf. The question is like this. When I come and I tell you on the time, today's the 30th day, and I come and I tell you, Richard, pay up. Now, if you're going to tell me I paid you, 1 second, but you have to pay me right now. I know I paid you a week ago, so that's paying early. Paying early, we don't believe you. Fine. But what happens if I came a week late? And I ask you, Richard, pay me. Now, technically speaking, you have amigo. You could have told me I paid you on the same day that I was obligated to. So therefore, if you tell me now I paid you a week early, why would you lie if you could have just said I paid you on time? And if you would have said I paid you on time, you're believed. So now that you said paying early, which usually you're not believed, mali l'shaker, why should I lie? Meaning it's like amigo. Okay, and therefore that's what we're trying to say over here, that you should be believed.